All right, the Chargers were dealt a big blow. I don't know if they were. Look, you are Chargers fans on this channel. I get it, and I know we're coming to you from Michigan. You see the shirt. We followed this man. We've been Lions fans, but we enjoy watching the Chargers. This is a great organization with a great head coach. Love watching it. So we started this channel about a year ago, and today we are going to talk about Mike Williams. We're going to talk about his retirement. Hello, did not see that coming. And we're going to actually talk about why it's not as big of a deal as you think it is. It's just not. And so we're going to honestly, I think it's a silver lining. If I can be completely honest, and I know it's hard for you because there are memories of 7 years. There are memories of 7 years with Mike Williams. All right? And he was a great wide receiver for you. He was a fantastic wide receiver for you. But if we're being completely honest with ourselves, last year he's a guy who put up a PFF grade that wasn't good. He was the 108th rated wide receiver in the league out of 133 qualifying. He had 21 catches for 298 yards and 1 touchdown. All right, and yes, this happens when players tear their ACL. It takes a minute to get back on the field. It takes a minute to get healthy. So this would have been the second year. There probably would have been some more health, right? But again, he's 31 years old almost. He's in his age 30 right now. I think his birthday's in like November or something. Anyways, with all that being said, he decided to retire. What that tells me is that physically he wasn't back. He couldn't get back. This is a person who had struggled with injuries throughout his career. So while he's almost 31, his body may have felt 35. And look, here's the deal. As soon as he retired, something really good happened. Trey Harris signed his contract. Now, he was a second-round pick, and you may or may not be aware of this. So Thursday was the beginning of training camp. Wednesday night, Mike Williams announced and had his agent call Joe Ortiz, the GM, and say, hey, Mike's retiring. And so it was the day before training camp started. So the next thing the Chargers did, it gave them that kick in the rear end to say, go get your second-round pick signed. Now, if you're unaware of the second-round pick stuff, only 2 of 32 second-round picks had signed before the last 2 or 3 days. Nobody had signed. Well, that's not true. I just said 2 of the 32 had signed. I think it was the Browns signed their rookie linebacker, Scherzinger, or however you say his name. And there was the Texans gave Higgins a fully guaranteed contract. So 2 players that got fully guaranteed contracts. There was this big holdout from all the other second-round picks because they were saying, no, all first-rounders get fully guaranteed contracts. We want second-rounders to get fully guaranteed contracts too. NFL owners were holding out saying, no, this is not going to become the norm. And GMs were holding out saying, no, this is not going to become the norm. We don't want to fully guarantee it. By the way, over 4 years, it's about 1.6 to 2.5 million, depending on where they were drafted in the second round. Like, it's not a lot of money over 4 years. I know that sounds like a lot of money. I know you're thinking, what are you talking about, Craig? $2 million? I'd like to have $2 million over the next 4 years. I'd be fine with it. I could do a lot of things with that. I know it's a lot of money to me, all right, but when it's talking about an NFL team on the salary cap, I mean, how often do you see second-round picks get cut and let go after 2 or 3 years? They almost always stick around for the 4 years because it's a very high draft capital to spend on someone. So why am I not shockingly worried about this? Well, Justin Herbert talked about a lot of this stuff, all right? He said of Williams earlier, he said when everything mattered the most, he was going to show up. The Chargers had placed Williams on the physically unable to perform list earlier this week, all right? That's what I'm going to remember most about him. It was an honor to play alongside him, throw him the ball. Definitely heartbreaking. Tough news to hear about, but we got his back no matter what. That's good. But now we are going into this next time of the season where we have a rookie wide receiver that we need to talk about. We need to talk about it. And Trey Harris is ready. Here's what Herbert had to say about Trey Harris in that same article. He said, we got a bunch of time in this offseason. And I know that he's been working hard the past couple of weeks this time off. Herbert said, whenever that deal gets done, it is done now. And he comes back. I know he's not going to miss a beat. He's done an incredible job. He's picked up the offense really quickly. He's a true pro. So it's good to have a guy like that. Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the depth that the Chargers now have at the wide receiver position. Okay? Again, last year and this year are significantly different. All right, Trey Harris has already been put in at that X position. They're calling it left wide receiver. All right, lined up on the left side, on the outside. LWR and RWR, basically outside receivers. SWR is slot. All right, so Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, and Ladd McConkey. Great. That's not bad if Trey Harris can pick it up fairly quickly. Here's the thing. Last year, you had no Trey Harris. And it was Quentin Johnston on the outside, and Ladd McConkey was your slot, but he was a rookie. And starting about halfway through the year, Ladd McConkey took off. So now you're going to start in your wide receiver room. Ladd McConkey is already going to be at that ultimate high level because he's entering year 2. He knows what's going on. There's not all these questions. There's not all these worries. All right, you have Darius Davis that is still there as your gadget slot guy. You have drafted Keandre Lambert-Smith, who everybody is saying the speed is just unbelievable, all right, through the summer practices. So now he has a chance. But here's what you're saying. You still have guys. You still have guys like Jalen Reagor, who's been around. You have guys like Brendan Rice, who what your hope for a guy like Brendan Rice was Mike Williams. Yes, you drafted him in the 7th round. Yes, that is generally not great for, was it 6th or 7th round? That's not great for wide receivers, but there's greatness running through his blood. Jerry Rice's son, we know this. All right? It's fine. It's not as deep as it was before, but you still have 4 wide receivers that you're very comfortable with. You drafted Trey Harris in the 2nd round. You better be comfortable with him. Quentin Johnston. Look, we understand the drops. But also we understand the athleticism and the skill. Ladd McConkey, very good. Darius Davis, for what he is, very good. You're 4 deep right there. And if you believe any of the hype over Keandre Lambert-Smith and you think just one of these other guys, like Jalen Reagor, no, he's not a great wide receiver, but if he's your number 5, fine. All right? If Brendan Rice can prove that he belongs, great. Like, these are the kind of things you look at. Usually wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, if you keep 6 on your team, the hope is that they're contributing on special teams. That's the hope with wide receiver 5, 6. Not that they're going to be difference makers. So this to me isn't a huge. All this does is it opens the door for a couple of rookies and maybe Brendan Rice. Watch him in the preseason closely to get some stuff done. That's what this does for me. All right, thanks for watching. Hey, Lions, Chargers, see you at the Hall of Fame game. I think your team's going to be more ready than ours, if I can be honest. We're taking a slow start to the season. So it'll be interesting to watch 2 wonderfully coached teams going against each other. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.